Someone said to me that after you leave office, we will do the final burial rites for Christopher Alexander Sapara Williams. And I agree. May I, with respect, rest on the existing protocol as already established. But not without acknowledging the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, who is represented here by no less a personality than the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, GCON. It is also in the best tradition of the bar and of the legal profession to extend respect and courtesies to the courts. And as I adopt the protocol, permit me again to recognize my Lord Honorable Justice K.M.O. Kekere Ekun, Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, ably represented by my Lord Honorable Justice Abiru, Justice of the Supreme Court. I will also recognize my big sister, the President of the Court of Appeal, Honorable Justice Monica Dongban Manson. I have a recognition for my big brother, the Honorable the Attorney General of the Federation, Prince Lateef Olasukomi Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. I said it before and I don't mind repeating it. We are grateful to the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for doing us the honor and for also recognizing us, especially in the appointment of one who has a heart for justice, one who has spent his entire life doing the business of justice in the person of the Honorable Attorney General of the Federation. Even though in my speech I've acknowledged our host, Mr. Governor of Lagos State, but permit me at the onset, because of the generosity and the kindness of this gentleman, who by the special grace of God is given the responsibility of steering the affairs of this state, the center of excellence, who has allowed that excellent spirit in him to find expression towards the Nigerian Bar Association in several ways. We were here in 2022. He welcomed us lavishly and without taking his generosity for granted. We knew that we can take it for a given that when we return to Lagos, he will not do any less than he had always done for the Nigerian Bar Association. We thank you, Mr. Governor, for your hospitality in Lagos. I was with His Royal Highness, the Kabiyesi, the Ooni of Ife, earlier today. Permit me not to report what the Ooni said to me, but suffice to acknowledge that is one who occupies a traditional stool, a highly respected stool, and one who also makes us proud. Thank you very much for coming. Last year, the theme of the conference was Getting It Right, charting the course for Nigeria's nation building. It explored key aspects of nation building from the perspective of security, economy, and the administration of justice. The decision to broaden the conversation beyond a typical law conference was made in recognition of the interconnectivity of the various factors influencing Nigeria's progress. The insights and outcomes gleaned from these engagements have served as tools for our continued dialogue with government and other relevant stakeholders in Nigeria's nation building, for ourselves as an association and on behalf of the people of our dear country. We were privileged to have the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, declare the 2023 Annual General Conference open and delivered a riveting speech that elicited a standing ovation at the opening ceremony. His Excellency, the President, made a call on members of the legal profession and other Nigerians alike to commit, in the President's words, to a change of mind, a change of attitude, and a change of approach to governance in order to exploit our great potentials for the benefit of the people. This year, we aim to build on the progress achieved through last year's conversations and subsequent collaborations with government and other stakeholders within and outside Nigeria. In coming up with the theme of this year's conference, Pressing Forward, a national posture for rebuilding Nigeria, we were primarily motivated by the scripture where Apostle Paul, in a deep and clear expression of the understanding of his calling, said, I press toward the mark of the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. While the annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association is not a religious gathering, we as legal practitioners can learn from this, remind ourselves of the noble call upon us to provide guidance to the people in protecting their rights and advancing the cause of our nation, to remain focused, resolute, and fix our gaze on the lofty goals of this call, which only the legal profession is privileged to undertake. This unique dual responsibility of legal practitioners, either serving on the bench or at the bar, was succinctly encapsulated in the immortal words of Sir Christopher Alexander Sapara Williams, the first Nigerian to be called to the English bar, who said, the legal practitioner lives for the direction of his people and for the advancement of the cause of his country. This privilege, no doubt, comes with corresponding responsibilities. which bring to mind another equally immortal words by the legendary jurist, Sir Adetokunbo Ademola, Chief Justice of Nigeria, actually the first indigenous Chief Justice of Nigeria, who noted that the respect in which the bar in any country is held is the best indicator of the freedom in that country. And I repeat, the respect in which the bar in any country is held is the best indicator of the freedom in that country. And we can only get to be respected when we, as members of the legal profession, discharge our dual functions mentioned above, not only creditably, but also as of necessity, honestly, professionally, and ethically, always motivated primarily by the need to serve justice to the people. It was Sheikh Usman Dan Fodio, the 18th century Islamic scholar, who was reported to have said that a people can exist without religion, but they cannot exist without justice. That is profound. That is profound. Which means that the existence of this country, or our existence as a people, is intricately connected with our responsibilities as members of the legal profession. This is because no other professionals, not the doctors, not the engineers, are privileged to be schooled in the subject of justice. Only you and I, walking on the street and seeing people either discuss or conduct themselves in a certain manner, can recognize that there is injustice going on there and immediately begin to think of what remedy could be available should such a matter be presented to you, either as a member of the bar or one serving on the bench. It is only to us that the Latin maxim, ubi jus, ibi remedium, makes meaning. Where there is an injury, there must be a remedy. That is a privilege that you and I uniquely enjoy, and it comes with responsibility. To realize this objective, we must all have a change of mind, a change of attitude, and a change of approach to governance. It is in this regard that we found the traits of the bird, the eagle, as ideal prescription, which, if imbibed with renewed hope, will shape our posture towards the recovery, the reformation, and the repositioning that we dearly yearn for our dear nation. This explains the design of the conference theme, which displays an eagle carrying aloft on its wings the insignia of the Nigerian Bar Association. The symbolism is a clear reminder of our role in the society and our duty to the people of Nigeria, and that we can only deliver on this all-important assignment if we assume the posture and traits of an eagle. What do I mean? The eagle has strong vision. It is tenacious and a high flyer. The eagle does not mingle with vultures. It is not found in the midst of mediocres. The eagle does not feed on dead meat. Dead meat, for me, is likened to corruption. If we imbibe the traits of the eagle as we press forward to rebuild our dear country, Nigeria, we must all eschew corruption at all levels and be deliberately purposeful in instituting people-centered programs and policies by the leadership, which must, as a corresponding duty, be owned by the followership. Eagles are very strong birds. The eagle in Nigeria's coat of arms signifies strength, and Nigeria is a country of tremendous strength. We see that in personalities like Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. If you are looking for one Nigerian that has imbibed and has expressed the traits of an eagle, and you meet Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, you will look no further. Finally, the eagle nurtures its younger ones to realize their capabilities and attain independence. This is our charge to the leadership of this nation. This prescription is equally for all Nigerians in various spheres of endeavors. The eagle is never distracted from its own pursuit. The eagle sets its eyes on its objective. And even when the crows, the birds that will perch on the back of the eagle, does that to distract the eagle, all that the eagle will do is to soar higher. By the time it gets to a certain altitude, the crows that cannot survive at certain altitude will get choked, they will fall off, die, and the eagle continues without any distraction. That is who we must be if we must press forward to rebuild this country. That is the posture that we must all have. Learned colleagues, our annual conference, as always, provides a veritable platform for knowledge exchange as we bring together thought leaders and policymakers in various spheres of endeavor, including business, academia, the corporate world, and civil society. Of great delight to me, and I'm sure to many of you, is the fact that our keynote speaker for this year's conference is none other than Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, GCON, the Director General of the World Trade Organization and one of Nigeria's leading lights in the world stage. As a distinguished Nigerian and development economist by excellence, with a stellar career spanning several decades of national, international, and global impact, it is our honor and privilege to have Dr. Okonjo-Iweala deliver the keynote address at this opening ceremony. The decision to invite Dr. Okonjo-Iweala as keynote speaker came after careful consideration. As the first woman and first African to lead the WTO, a former managing director of World Bank, the first woman to serve as Nigeria's finance minister and foreign affairs minister, amongst others, she is no doubt a role model and an inspiration to all of us, and particularly to women in Nigeria and beyond. Of the about 145,000 lawyers on the roll of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, nearly 70% are females. Many of whom, I can hear the men grumbling, they have overtaken. They have the President of the Court of Appeal, the Acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, several heads of courts in Nigeria. The women are taking over. They have actually taken over. And we are sure they will do us proud. Many of our female colleagues overcame great challenges to become lawyers. I can therefore say without fear of any contradiction that Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's personality resonates with majority of the members of the Nigerian Bar Association. Beyond shattering glass ceilings to get into those positions, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala challenged the status quo and made significant positive changes, which left no one in doubt that she was eminently qualified to take on those responsibilities. This administration has been deliberate about projecting the place of women in our profession and preparing them for leadership positions. For the first time in the 64-year history of the Nigerian Bar Association, the Conference Planning Committee is being headed by a team made up exclusively of our female colleagues, with Oyinkansola Badejo Okunsanya as the chairperson of the Annual General Conference Planning Committee. We have Amina Suleiman Kaoje as the alternate chair, Laura Alakija as secretary, and Chika Okoli as the alternate secretary. The excellence you now see and you will yet encounter in the course of this conference is largely a function of the AGCPC led by these women, and I extend my profound gratitude to the committee on behalf of the bar. In the next 2 days, we will have one plenary session and 31 breakout sessions comprising different topics curated around the themes of security, economy, and administration of justice and professional development. This has been the areas of focus over the 2-year period of our administration. In conclusion, we are grateful to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, particularly for his demonstrated commitment to sustainable reforms in the justice sector. His Excellency undoubtedly realizes that reforms in the justice sector is a sine qua non to achieving the vision of his administration for socio-economic and political development with the attendant prosperity for the good of the people of Nigeria. His Excellency, the Vice President, Alhaji Kashim Shettima, GCON, through our interactions, has shown a clear understanding of the core issues and challenges bedeviling the administration of justice system. Our every interaction with His Excellency always yields forward-looking proposals, some of which we have appropriated for the purpose of our advocacy on the reform of key justice institutions. This is the first time that His Excellency will hear that we have adopted our conversations with him and they formed part of our advocacy notes. I have at every public occasion and forum mentioned that the choice of Prince Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, as the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice is a choice well made. The evidence lies in the rapid progress that have been made both in the area of administration of justice reform, public interest issues, and the professional development of legal practitioners. I want to specially acknowledge the presence of His Excellency, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, the former President of the Republic of Ghana, for coming all the way to grace this event and to share from his wealth of knowledge and experience. His Excellency is in the middle of his campaign to return to that exalted office in December of this year. And in spite of the activities of his campaigns, His Excellency decided to do us the honor of the sacrifice to abandon his own interest to come and be part of us at this conference. And His Excellency is our keynote speaker at the first plenary that we'll have tomorrow morning. And I invite each and every one of you because we'll be talking about the African continent, the economy on the African continent amidst the insecurity that we are faced with in the continent. Thank you very much, Mr. President, for coming. Finally, I will not end without specially expressing our immense gratitude to the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu. I was going to add SAN, for once again graciously playing host to the Nigerian Bar Association. We thank Mr. Governor, and we are very grateful for the leadership qualities you bring to bear in the affairs of Lagos State. I will be remiss if I do not specifically acknowledge three of our grandmothers, two of whom are here, Mrs. Hairat Balogun, OON, a trailblazer in her own right. Needless to mention all the ceilings that Hairat Balogun, OON, shattered, and how that our grandmother continued to be an exemplary member of this profession, always drawing attention to ethics and professionalism. I am very close to someone who served in the Ministry of Justice when Mama was Attorney General of Lagos State, and he knows how not to appear in the ministry without proper dressing. Thank you very much, Ma, for always being there with us, for always supporting us. We are grateful. And to my far right is another grandmother, a wonderful mother, a wonderful grandmother, one that has also been so exemplary, one that has kept this profession. They both have done so much to keep this profession for those of us who came much later to find a place to express the giftings that God has put in us. Mrs. Priscilla Kuye, past president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Thank you very much. Both Mama Hairat Balogun and Priscilla Kuye were at our pre-AGC NEC meeting yesterday. They came, they prayed for us, they blessed us, and I know from that moment the Nigerian Bar Association would not be the same. We would continue to experience better growth as an association. In conclusion, we have planned this conference. I said, finally, now it is the concluding part. This shall be a conference like never before. I want to urge all participants to take full advantage of the knowledge of the array of our distinguished speakers from across the globe. I therefore call on all of us to take a dip into this knowledge-sharing exercise as we equip ourselves with the necessary tools to press forward towards rebuilding Nigeria. And lastly, Nature abhors any vacuum. The Nigerian Bar Association, recognizing that very profound statement, went to the polls on the 20th of July 2024 to elect my successor to lead the next set of the executive committee of the Nigerian Bar Association. And you have done just that. With 4 days to go as president of the Nigerian Bar Association, I have the privilege and the singular honor to introduce to you one that you already know, one that we describe as the golden boy of the Nigerian Bar Association. One who was the chairman of Abuja branch at a time when it was just a single branch. One who also served as general secretary with our illustrious president, Mr. Austin Alege, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Who together they institutionalized the system that gave and gives every single member of the Nigerian Bar Association the opportunity and the privilege to express his franchise. Under their leadership, we moved from the delegate system to the universal suffrage. And that is how people like us could have the opportunity of coming to occupy this seat. We thank you for that leadership. If a day after you are called to the bar, you have the right to appear before my Lord Honorable Justice Abiru at the Supreme Court, why should you not be eligible to participate in the election of your leaders of the bar? If at the age at which you are called to be a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria, well past 18, you can elect Mr. President and Mr. Vice President, how would you not be eligible to elect the President of the Nigerian Bar Association and other national officers? And so the golden boy, Mazi Afam Osigwe, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, life bencher, shall take over the baton from me come 29th August 2024 by the special grace of God. I say to you, congratulations, and I congratulate each and every one of you for expressing your franchise. And as part of giving direction to the people and advancing the cause of this nation, and with the privilege of having Mr. Vice President in the room and the Honorable Attorney General and Senator Adegbomire, it is high time that Nigeria looked the way of the Nigerian Bar Association in the way we conduct elections. All of us conducted our elections on the go. You didn't have to congregate in any particular location, exposing citizens to the sort of risks that we see when we troop out to vote for our leaders. We have done what Sapara Williams said we should do. It is only left for Nigeria to copy. I thank each and every one of you for the privilege of electing me to serve as your 31st President of the Nigerian Bar Association. I will never be able to repay the goodwill that the members of the Nigerian Bar Association extended to me during the campaigns, while in office, and even as I exit. I remain committed to the Nigerian Bar Association, and together we will continue to succeed as we offer direction to the people and advance the cause of this nation. I thank you so very much, and God bless.